Good after evening noon. I'm Vince, VE6LK, and I am here to talk about quick configuration and setup for your SOTA and POTA spotting with SOTAmate. What's SOTAmate? Well, SOTAmate is an excellent off-grid service and tool to create spots, send messages, and much, much more. Now, you can take a look at Brian's YouTube channel, and I've referenced it in this link right here, and take a look at this video. Oh, wait, will you do that? Great video, right? And it gives you a perfect overview of what's going on. So I'm going to cover the basics of HF configuration to assist you in getting spotted with SOTAmate for the first time. SOTAmate does much, much more than this, and I really encourage you to look at Brian's YouTube channel, linked above, to see those videos. SOTAmate requires you to pre-configure where you're going to be operating and the frequencies before you go, because after all, it is an off-grid solution. Once you get your configuration set up, and you'll be then focusing your attention on your iPhone or Android, and you're going to do a synchronization step to the SOTAmate service. This step is incredibly important. All right, are you ready? Let's go take a look at some computer screens and y'all can follow along. So we'll take a look at the SOTAmate website here, and we're going to start with telling you to go ahead and create yourself an account on the SOTAmate website and log into it, and then you're going to download it to your phone or your Android device, and you're going to log into it on there in the phone setup screen, and I'll show you that in a little bit. And then you need to understand that SOTAmate works on the basis of a number of combinations, and it's on the bottom of every configuration screen how those combinations are computed. The total number of summits plus parks times the total number of frequency steps plus any commands you wish to define. And Brian's YouTube channel talks about those commands. I'm not going to cover them here with you. But as long as those combinations stay below 1 million, which sounds like a huge number, but it's really easy to get there, and this screen, as long as this screen stays green, you're good to go. So that's what you need to understand. So let's take a look now at the screen HF preparation, and the first thing as a POTA operator I'm going to tell you to define is your POTA locations. It's exactly the same thing for SOTA regions. So in POTA locations, you click on that and you scroll down a bit, and you're going to see a table here, and you're going to create a new entry in that table. And you can see that I've already got Canada's Alberta defined because that's where I live and that's where I do 99% of my activations. But let's suppose that I want to travel to the US to Montana. So I type in USMT, or if I want to, I can do the real fancy thing and I can scroll down until I can see what I need. You see all of these different POTA entities that are here. I can make some notes to myself. And what this posting call is good for is for those of us who are licensed in that other area, like I am, I'm licensed in the States. I can say, well, when I'm posting, I want to post, and type it in uppercase so it looks nice, I want to post as AI7LK when I'm in the United States. So I can say, okay, and accept that change onto the page, and now you can see that that's been added. Now, anytime I make a change, I'm going to say this twice. Anytime I make a change on a page that's got one of these combination boxes down here, I'm going to have to go up and hit the curlicue or touch the refresh key or however you wish to do it in your browser and make sure that that number of combinations doesn't turn red. So now that I've got my locations defined, I'm going to come all the way back up to the top, and I'm going to take a look at the frequencies and modes. And I've already defined mine, so you can use mine as a bit of a template if you want, do a screen grab and type it in. It's not a whole bunch of work, but let me step you through what these really mean. And let's just focus on the first two lines on the 40 meter band. So the first entry says I'm going to operate on the base megahertz of 7 megahertz in CW mode. I'm going to have a frequency step, and I'll show you what that means in a little bit, available of every kilohertz and a total of 70 steps. So now the software is going to say, I want to start transmitting on 7.001, 7.002, 003, and so on until I reach the upper limit of that range I have defined. Likewise, in sideband, I'm going to start at the conventional, where the conventional phone band starts of 7125. If you're a general class operator, you might want to set this up a little bit higher for the 40-meter band so you don't drift down below it by mistake when you're using the software. So once again, every time I make a change on this page, get into the habit, I didn't make a change, but I'm in the habit of refreshing it to make sure that those combinations and permutations stay green all the time. So once you're done building these two items, you refresh the page. If that lower corner is green, you are good to go. All right, so now let's take a peek at the iPhone configuration. So now here's my iPhone, and the first thing I want to do is I want to say what I'm going to go into setup, the first thing I'm going to do. And now that I've already signed in, I'm going to tap on the button that says load configuration from server. I'm going to do that, and it says successfully loaded. So those changes are now loaded in my phone. That step is also incredibly important. Now, let's go and do a POTA spot. So I tap on the POTA spot button down at the bottom. It's the same thing if I wanted to activate on SOTA. I just tap the SOTA spot. I don't have any of those defined because Vince is in a shape. His shape is round. Round doesn't climb mountains to do SOTA. I do drive-ups, and I haven't defined those yet. I'm getting around to it. Anyway, let's get back to the demo. So now I say, well, what park do I want to activate in? So now it gives me a little number pad, and I'm going to type in my favorite park is 6094, and you can see that it comes up and it loads the park name. It tells me how many attempts have been made, how many activations, and these are my attempts and activations. And it tells me how many QSOs I've made from there. So that's all good. Now I want to scroll up the phone a bit, and I'm going to say what mode and band am I going to operate on. So now I'm going to scroll through the wheel until it says CW on 7 megahertz because I want to do a CW activation. And then what frequency do I want to operate on? So I feel like operating on about, I don't know. Let's find it. There it is, 7063. Sounds like a great frequency. And I say done. And now I'm going to pick up the phone and move to the next step. So now that I've done this, all I have to do is have my radio ready to go on FT8 on 40 meters and have my antenna tuned and loaded for the frequency I've chosen, 7063. 7063, 7074, they're pretty close. I don't have to retune my antenna much. And then I have to get my phone and say, play the FT8 audio. And the FT8 audio is going to come up on my phone in synchrony with, the time sync of FT8. And in a minute, you're going to hear the little whistle tones when they come out of my phone about 1 second from now. So these tones will come out as you're holding up your microphone to your radio, and they'll play up to 4 times. The second time it plays, it changes the bass frequency. So I have mine set a little bit low. I think the default is like 1500 hertz. I set my VFO to 075 and play the tone low because it's a convenient step on my radio to do that. And so, that's it. From there, I switch back to my activating frequency and I start calling. After I check, of course, to make sure that the frequency is not in use. I skipped that step. I did that before I picked the frequency. But really, that's all there is to it. So go take a look at Brian's videos up in this corner. And I hope you found this interesting and helpful. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. 73.